Okay, hey everybody. This is Grace. Wow, that light's going off and it's green. It's usually white, but it's green going on. Anyway, we'll wait to start a video. I'm just driving around. But it's too dark. I cannot see. Seriously, it's so dark I cannot see where the road is. Wow. That was scary. You see those lights that you see? Let's see. You can see them now. See those street lights? That one was going out and it was green. See, that's orange. Yeah. But anyway, it's got a full moon. Wow. Okay, I'll go for a drive. But I'm going for a drive because I've been telling this story about on one of my channels, more than one of my channels, about a crazy lady, 31-year-old, Adam and I met and married over 40 years ago. And this woman's 31, and she's his sister's daughter, so his niece. And, well, that fruit didn't fall far from the tree, as the expression goes. That apple didn't fall far from the tree. Some say fruit, some say apple. It's an expression, as so many know. She is, they basically don't care if they kill you, as long as they get their way. That's the very short version. They're going to do what they want to do, and if it hurts you in any way, they don't care. And they do that to anybody. I'm going to sum it up as most people would say, sociopathic much. And I think many people who know about this stuff, and even the daughter, the 31-year-old, even said she knew more than I about sociopaths. Well, there would be only one reason why somebody would think they know more than I, since my degrees are in psychology and sociology, and theirs are not. Is that they looked it up. She was trying to say it was because she looked it up for one of her sisters, now ex-husband, and that she felt that he was. I always kind of wondered about that because I wasn't there. I don't know the situation, but her mother was her mother's eldest child. Boy, I have too much fog on my windows and I can't get it done to change over here. But her let me get this window. But her older daughter, her eldest daughter, got married, moved to Canada with her husband, had a baby, and her mother, Adam's sister, went there to help her. And all hell broke loose, and they blamed the guy, their scapegoat. I immediately felt their scapegoat. Okay? They found a scapegoat, and that's him. And he probably just had enough, because I know when she visited his Adam's sister, when she visited us the first time I met her, she was such a horrible person. I had never met her in person. We had a language barrier. We didn't speak the same language. Well, she spoke enough English. She, like her daughter, would act like they didn't when it benefited them, and acted like they did when it benefited them. And well, she was a horrible person. They both were terrible, horrible, terrible people. Seriously. But just to look at them, you would think, maybe some of us have that little extra sense there, I say, Yeah, but to look at them, they just seem like average, everyday person. And the daughter, the 31-year-old, she kind of looks like a model, but not in the face as much, but the body, yeah. And she makes sure everybody knows it because she wears her clothes tight and short and all this stuff. Inappropriate, very inappropriate, inappropriately dressed. Yeah. Oh, my SUV is shaking. What is this? Shake, shake, shake. Like back and forth. But anyway, I don't want to stop. There's a bunch of woods over there. And just drive around the block. But, and they're the type that the histrionic, they do something wrong to somebody and then they play the victim. First introduction to his sister was when she actually in person, was she walked into the house, sat down on the sofa and started talking about how she was the victim of one of their cousins. Wow, nice introduction to you. And my immediate thought was histrionic behaviors. You know, immediately, I've seen those my whole life. Think about it, whole life, 61 years. I earned my degrees in psychology and sociology. I was a career student over 20 years. And my IQ is rather impressive. Okay, I'm not bragging, I'm stating fact. You know, women, if they talk about their achievements, this is something to learn in university, they're thought of as bragging. Men, it's thought of, well, we need to know that he's the voice of authority on something. But not women. No, that's bragging. That's wrong. That's a wrong kind of way. So, but didn't you think that? Just think about it. Don't we all? We were so, you know, we were taught since we were young. Yeah. Anyway. But I've been telling the story over and over because I'm venting. But the reason one of the reasons, besides that I am one of those people who say, get it off your chest. You know, don't keep it bottled up inside. I'm not a person who thinks in terms of one size fits all. But I would say this one comes very close. I've never known a person who keeps it bottled up inside to respond for it to last long. They start taking their problems out on somebody else. That's my experience in life. That's just mine. I'm not saying it would be yours. I'm not saying it's across the board. Mine's experience in life is that. Yeah, but the reason I'm having to turn it off and on is because of what she did. The last day she was there is the short version is they know I have chemical allergies. So she made sure, and I knew she'd do it. But anyway, on the last night that she was at our home, she had been with us since, let's see, this is January and 2025, and she had been with us since like the middle of the summer, July, August, or the end of the summer. Because she got kicked out of the university where she was here to work on her master's degree. And she lost her job, lost her university housing. Basically, because she has that high sense of entitlement, and some of the stuff she did, I won't mention, was horrible to other people, did not care, you know, as long as she got her agenda, and that's all that mattered. You know, she got what was her agenda done, completed, and didn't care who she hurt. To me, that is the definition of a sociopath. Everybody else is just collateral damage. As long as they get their way, you know, the narcissistic side of it, as long as they get their way, everybody else, well, they just shouldn't have been there. They shouldn't have been there. You know, come up with some crazy crap. And what she did, she said that she just dabbed a little cologne on her arm upstairs in the bathroom. I didn't spray it. You know, so she said if she wanted to go back, take that back with her to her country, by the way. She was leaving the next morning. She wanted to give me a parting gift. She knew I had chemical allergies, severe, and knows that perfume is the thing that sets it off, any kind of like strong perfume odor. And it wasn't the first time she did it. So, her technicality, you know, get it caught, you know, for her technicality was that she didn't spray it. And then she bawled, oh, cry. When Adam, he said, you knew better. Anyway, but after that, I was suffering. I had to leave the house. I had to go sit in my car outside. Once again, this wasn't the first time. You know, the other time she sprayed, I told her downstairs, I said, do not spray, you know, spray anything, chemicals in the house, because that could literally kill me. She went right upstairs and did it. I mean, that moment, went right upstairs and sprayed sprayed because I don't know if it was that time or another time. She saw a dead gnat, G-N-A-T, a dead one. So she had a spray. And then she sprayed Lysol. Oh my God, I had to leave the house for 4 hours. It took for it to clear out. 4 hours. Okay. Which I have edema and sitting in my SUV for 4 hours. You got it. Not a good idea. Not a good thing. Okay, and I'm a tall person and trying to maneuver some way to put my legs up and yeah, no. And another time she did the same thing. The same exact thing. You know, she was gone. She was at her campus apartment, all that stuff. Gone forever. How long? I don't know exactly how long each thing was. And then she came back for whatever reason. Maybe it was this time. Came back and did it again. Pretty as you please. And this time, she didn't spray anything. And then, you know, like I said, I left, went outside, sat in my SUV. We had snow and there was ice on the road and I wasn't about to, you know, drive around and all like I am now, just going around the block. But Adam came out finally to get me after a little while. He said, she's upstairs crying. He's so gullible to that. I cannot say anything. I know how this works. Yeah, I know that she was going to do that. I did not really doubt myself at all. It's so scripted, like reading a script. You know what's going to happen next. You know, she had to show her dominance, what she thought was her dominance in my home. That she's going to do what she wants to do, and how dare you tell her no? You know, you can't tell her, no, you can't kill me. No. You can't tell her that. Oh my gosh, I'm serious. So anyway, like I said, the reason I'm out driving around is I feel it. I was in the house. The air is so thick. This is 2 days later. The air is so thick. It's not the perfume. It's just the air in the house. It's thick. I can't even blame that. It's just that whenever the Benadryl wears off, I feel my chest. I feel it in my chest. I looked online. I don't always trust what I read online. But it said this kind of reaction could last for weeks. Okay, weeks. And I've just been through a lot of health problems. You know, even was admitted in the hospital, all this stuff, just a lot of them, and found out, you know, at about not even a month ago that I'm anemic. All these doctors had run these tests and none of them told me that I was anemic ever. My new doctor said, but you've been anemic for quite some time. I said, and nobody told me. Seriously. Been through a lot of crap. On top of that gross stuff, I was basically bleeding out. Not bleeding out like you think, but I was bleeding. And for May. Yeah, beginning of May will be 2 years. That just several times I just had blood pouring out of my navel. Okay, navel. And nobody knew what it was. Nobody and all that ever told me I was anemic. Never told me what it was. I just heard a bunch of guesses. You know, none of them said, well, it could, you know, none of them said it is. They said it could be. Well, it could be doesn't cut it. You know, or just silence. Then they would not give any response. Seriously, none. I mean, this is our medical health care provider, you know, thing. I'm talking doctors and specialists. This is their response. These kind. But it wasn't only that. The last one was gross stuff. But I was having really bad diarrhea, and it was black, and you got it. I had to go back to the hospital after I went the first time to say what's going on here, because they just didn't do the exam. And I went home, and the triage nurse, they follow up on these things, and she said, you go back to that hospital. You go back to that. So I go back to the same ER? Yeah, you go back to them. And I felt like she had called them and said that it was so inappropriate to just send her home like that, just take a few blood tests and send her home, and didn't even tell me anything about the blood tests. And of course they charge $200 a pop. Yeah, money's not a problem for me, not now. Could always happen, you know. I mean, I have had it rough. I've had it rough. $200 used to be my goodness, my food for a few months, my groceries, you know. I would have been homeless kind of thing in the past. But, nope. They didn't tell me. And then I went back and grudgingly did the exam. Like, it was so much a waste of his time. And said, oh, yeah, there's blood in it. Yeah, you're bleeding. And, yeah. And said, but you always come in here with too many symptoms. Well, duh. You know, it's not just going to be clear cut. Oh, I got a tummy ache. And then you're suddenly going to understand everything you need to know. I just have a stomach ache. No, it wasn't a stomach ache. And then he referred me to a how do they pronounce it? Gastro somethingologist. You know, where I don't think any of us are used to hearing that, because there's more to it than what you think. At least than me. I've never. I'm like, he's sent it for IBS. I don't have IBS. He was just. I'll never. And I told him, one of them called me yesterday. One of those the follow-up people. I said, I'll never go back to that ER. And they don't call it ER anymore. She called it ED. And I said, the what? Because ED means something else. You know? And I said, I've never heard it referred to as that. I've always heard it referred to as ER. And she said, well, it means emergency department. You need to change that, dog. Seriously. Because a lot of other people are probably going to have the same kind of thing, because it's been ER for decades, for one. And ED, yeah, you're asking a woman about ED. You get it, kind of just had to say a little joke there, you know. Oh my gosh. But anyway, driving around the block, because I'm sitting there, you know, I'm suffering from this. Whenever the Benadryl, I'm not a doctor, I don't know if I'm doing this right, but the Benadryl wears off. This is how it's always been for me. You know, I follow the instructions on the box. Don't take more than I should. I don't take it sooner than I should. And and right close to the time that it's wearing off for the next one, I'll start feeling it, and until it kicks in, I'll feel it for a little while in my chest and everything from that. The same response I had whenever she, you know, it's an allergic reaction. I know I've had chemical allergies. I've never had it this bad. Well, I cannot say that. I've had it pretty bad in my youth. Oh man, and I didn't know what it was. I didn't know how to fix it, but how to treat it. I used to have walking pneumonia, and you might think that's a joke because of the song, you know. No, it's real. It's a real thing. And it was from definitely my university that I was attending. Well, that woman, she was like really worried about me. And a lot of it was because, you know, of idiots who go out in public wearing perfume and not caring. You know, instead of bathing, they just slather on or spray it in every part of their body with this strong chemical stuff. You know, and I know there are a lot of people who are ignorant to it. I mean, ignorant in the way that they just don't know. But you could kill somebody, possibly. I'm not an expert on it, but I know that you could kill me. I mean, I've gotten sick to where I was almost dead. the more I'm thinking about it, like I said, in my youth, when I was attending university, yeah, yeah, not good. But as I've gotten older, it's not been as bad. But this time, wow, wow. Anyway, driving around, and one of the things, Adam, I got so angry. When I get really angry, not angry, when I get fed up, I'm going to say it the right way. When I get fed up with something, and I know that there's no sense at all of talking, I do the silent treatment on the person. And it's not really, some people think it's the narcissist that does the silent treatment. Let's think that through. Whenever you are a victim of a narcissistic person, when you know that anything you say, they're going to use it against you. They're going to put it in a fight. They're going to tell other people. They're just going to go on, and they just having fun. Especially like somebody with borderline that's throwing a temper tantrum, and they just keep going. They use it. Phew, that silence, that really gets to them, because they have nothing to use at that moment. Nothing to keep their fire going, because they want to take, really, it's quite often somebody else did something to them. Somebody completely different. May have insulted them, their boss, their whatever. They're going to take it out on you. And if you're not speaking, but it's not a game to me. The first time I ever did it, it was not a game. I was surprised too. It was a natural reaction to fed up. I mean, my thoughts weren't all about, I have to do this and I have to play that and I have to do this role, I have to do the gray rock, I have to do this. No, it was a natural response to shut my mouth and walk away. And no, it wasn't going to be that I was going to be engaging the disordered. No. Okay, you are on my tail in the neighborhood. You really want to do that? You idiot. I've noticed lately people who are putting up videos of people who are brake checking people. They call it brake checking. Like people are tailgating them and they tap on their brakes. And the person who's being tailgated is at fault for doing that. I think it is actually illegal to do it, to tap on your brakes, to say, hey, back off. But no, the tailgater is the histrionic, but I'm the victim. Seriously though, really, you should not brake check anybody. I remind myself of that quite often. Yeah. Okay, back to the driving around and the tailgaters. No, not the tailgaters, but there's somebody behind me again. This is a neighborhood. Speed limit's 30. It's not 90. And we got kids out here. All right? Even though it's dark. Anyway, so one of the reasons was I was feeling this, having this again with my chest. It was, I'd just taken another Benadryl. It was time for me to, and it's going to take a little while to kick in. And it was one that was not, it was that feeling again that I have, the allergic reaction. And I went in there and told him, I said, I'm afraid this, I told him that I looked it up and it said it, the other day, 2 days ago. And it said, I think it was, it can go on for weeks. I said, and I'm suffering with this. And I told him, I'm not exaggerating, I am. You hear my voice crack? It's been doing this. And I don't know what he said. He said, okay, I don't want you to hear you bad-mouthing my... I said, oh, you better stop. That was mine of getting to that point. When I say something like that, no, you're not... I said, I am going to bad-mouth her. I said, it's not even bad-mouthing. It's telling the truth about her to the, I said, to the end of my life. was so inappropriate. You know, she was laughing. She saw me. She had been sitting in the living room, and when she did it, I was in a front room, and when I came out, the whole house stunk. And with this stuff, and she just put a little dab on her wrist. No, it was not a little dab. But anyway, she was laughing. Anytime when I came out, and I whoosh, you know, doing the air thing that you automatically do, you know, waving your hand, whoop. You know, I opened the front door. I was right there. She would crack up laughing to the top of her lungs, you know, the histrionic style. You know, the big old cackle. And then I went and sat down for a minute because it was just, whoa. And I got back up and I went back across that part of the front part, they call it a foyer. Walked back across into that room, and she laughed and laughed and laughed. I mean, that's quite. You see, I want to say that's quite psycho, but my training was that psychopaths, they have a target, Sociopaths don't care who it is. They don't care. You know, it's not about having a target, really, with them. It's just, you know, in this sense, in a way, yeah. You know, she's not going to tell me I can't wear perfume. Like I said, I think I said in this video, his sister was this way, her mother, who's her mother, his younger brother's girlfriend this way, and they made sure they did it every time they were around, you know, until he jumped on them. Yeah. You know, I would talk to him. Doesn't matter. And then they smart mouth people. But I want to do video more on, you know, the people that they pick on is people who are not like them and who don't want to be like them. You know, not their groupies or their flying monkeys or their wannabes, whatever you want to call them. No, not them. It's the people who are generally, they're not the beautiful people. They're just your average person. But, you know, quite often it's somebody who is a little different in whatever way. And I don't want to list the different ways people are different. You know, I think we all know. And there's so many different ways to be different. I'll mention mine. I'm tall. I'm a tall woman. My dad was 6'7". I got it honestly. You know, my dad he'd only admit to 6'7". So I'm female, always have been. I got it honestly still. I'm the second tallest. My brother, he's the tallest, and he's 6'5". So, and I'm in Texas. We grow everything bigger in Texas, you know. Everything's bigger in Texas is this thing. But I used to say it, including the people. But I used to say people would laugh. It was a joke, you know. But but even so, there are a lot of tall women. A lot of tall women in Texas. It's still a thing that some people like that. The people who are disordered. I mean, I don't diagnose, but yeah, it's a histrionic. I'd say a narcissistic, histrionic blend of behaviors. They just stand out. I mean, boom! When you see somebody, woof, the way they dress, the way they laugh, the way they talk, they cackle, you know, and laughing hyena. Everybody has to pay them attention. They don't care if it's negative attention, positive attention, it doesn't matter. As long as they're a center of attention, you know. I mean, so many, they're very theatrical, you know, they got to make sure everybody knows that they're there, and they do. You know, I've seen stuff like that. Start singing and just top of their lungs singing and inappropriately, you know, in a family gathering, and everybody's, you know, talking to one another, and oh, they're gonna sing and they're gonna laugh and they're gonna talk really loud, so everybody turns their attention on them. These things stand out. I'm not trying. They want to stand out. They want everybody to notice. Doesn't matter to them if it's somebody who thinks that they're totally inappropriate and tells them, you're just a hater. That's all. You're a hater. It's your fault. But anyway, so I'm glad I got out of the house and just drove around. So I expect I'm going to be doing this more often, but we're going to have, today was beautiful, beautiful day. And it's 3 days in a row after a snowstorm here in Texas, north of Dallas. And we still have snow, even though the past 3 days have been like 50 something, in the 50s. But we're having cold weather come back. Don't know about snow. I really don't want to see it. I want to see if it's going to happen. But anytime that's I'm going to go out day, night, whenever. I went out today several times. Not several times. I went to a few places, 3 places at one outing. Yeah, I plan on it. And then now, talk to you on another video.